live. What is going on, fam? Today we're going to be hitting on whelping. I got Mike and Donald in the back. I'm going to bring them up here in a second. But I wanted to share a couple of things with you guys. I don't know if you guys know, but a little while ago, we had a breeding with our girl, Chanel. As you can see her koi is at 10. And BMBZ's Hector El Oso, the bear, at 27% koi. Pups are now 1 week old, man. And let me tell you, there's some heavy hitters up in there. We're excited about the breeding. We're excited to see the bone and the head that Hector has been pumping out. Even though this is actually his first litter on the ground, nonetheless, man, I'm very, very much impressed. Real quick, let me go through some comments. We got Miss Shaytree in the house. We got Freddie Stravia. We got Budakal. Hello, good evening, all. It's first made it to the pre-show chat. How's everything? I'm sorry, everyone and their doggies. We're all doing good. Glad to see you guys here. Appreciate you. Let's see. We got Ziggy Aceves saying congrats. Appreciate you, man. Number love, man. We got hello from the UK. We got Ghost Dogs in the house. Yeah, man. Today we're going to be talking about whelping and some of the things you got to be paying attention to. Recently, I had somebody hit me up and they told me that the female had just had pups, and all of a sudden, after the pups ate the first 3 or 4 days, they would immediately go to sleep. But out of nowhere, out of the blue, the pups started. He didn't say yelping; he said crying, but crying in a way like it was painful. And so immediately I told him, okay, well, how much is mom licking the puppies, right? Because that's one of the most important things of whelping, of the mom's job during whelping. It's not just giving them the milk, but it's also the licking them, right? Licking them in the belly area and down their privates so that it can stimulate them to urinate and defecate, right? And then mom eats it. And even though a lot of you probably thinking it's disgusting, it's actually a good thing she does that because it's a loop back system, right? I don't know, the minerals, there's vitamins, there's minerals in that poop, believe it or not, that the pups are excreting, and she's able to take it back in. This is how she does it. Nature is perfect, folks. I mean, I don't ever question nature for that very same reason. So I told him to go ahead and put the pups in front of mom, let her lick away for at least a good 2 or 3 minutes, and then put the puppies down and see what happens. Well, lo and behold, man, literally I get a text about 45 minutes later. Hey, man, all the puppies are asleep. Thank you so much. And, there's an old Spanish saying. El diablo es diablo por viejo que por diablo, which in translation, it means the devil is more of a devil because of his age than he is because he's a devil. And what I mean by that is just the fact that you got experience and you're able to share that. That's what helps people get out of the situations sometimes they're up in. What's up, fam from Louisiana? Jira Grimm. All right, man. Furman, what is going on? Stimulate them to urinate, and also her saliva helps their coats and overall health. Yeah, sure. Keeps them clean. Reyes, what's good, Raul? Good to see you, man. Love the show. Thank you, Reyes. Number love for you, man. If you guys have not checked out Reyes Kennels, you need to go over there and say what's up to them on behalf of QBN, man. Love. Kyle Holland, Lake Charles here. Georgetown Bullies checking in. What's up, Georgetown? We were just talking earlier today. Justin Smith, yo, great to be here, y'all. Appreciate you, man. It's critical that mom cleans the pups. This is very, very true. let me give you guys a little background of something that happened to me a while back. So you guys know I had a female named Latessa, and for 2.5 years she didn't get pregnant. I've spoken about the story for forever. Long story short, she has a litter, and after about 4 days, first 4 days, everything was fine. She was cleaning everything up, cleaning the puppies, doing everything. After about the fifth day or so, she decides I ain't cleaning up anymore, right? And so what I started doing was changing out the pool. And I'm going to be showing you guys here. I'll show you. Basically, this is the same setup I have. The only difference is that at the time, I didn't have this cloth at the bottom. So it was just straight plastic. And I wanted it that way. This way, I could literally swap out the pools, right? Because the way we do it is we buy 3 of these pools. One's inside. The other two serve as backups, right? So they get cleaned, they get dried, and they're just waiting for me to swap them out. Long story short, she was not cleaning the pups, and the pups, I guess, had urinated for a little bit. And I started seeing in the paws of one of the pup a blister. And that is not good. Let me tell you why it's not good. It's not good because puppies are born with immature immune system, right? So the colostrum they take in from mom is what's going to hold them for the next 28 days before their immune system kicks in. And even then it's still premature, right? Long story short, I knew that was not a good situation. So immediately, I got a cup. I put hydrogen peroxide and water. I got the puppy's paw and I put it completely in there. And I did this to the paw, make sure, that hydrogen peroxide is killing everything in there. And then also I put triple antibiotic ointment on the paw, and luckily for me, nothing happened, but it could have gone south. If a puppy gets an infection within the first 27 days of life, literally, it's usually a life or death scenario. Guys, I got my guys in the back. Let me bring them up. We got Gaines Bullies in the house. What's going on?
What's up, man? What's happening? How everybody doing?
We're doing good, man. I was just I was giving my little spiel on whelping and things that I've come across as far as moms needing to clean, which now leads me to another topic, which is sometimes we want to breed females a little sooner than we should. And what I'm not talking about the first heat. We all can agree that breeding a female in the first heat is the wrong thing to do, right? No question about that. It's unethical. Okay. But you could have a female that, say, is 18 months old and she's still not ready to give birth, at least mentally. Mm-hmm. Why is this important? Well, we're talking about whelping today, guys. And a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about, that the things that mom should be responsible for, a lot of times the failure of the mother, in my opinion, most of the time has more to do with one of two things: immaturity, which means you bred her too soon, or a lack of instinct, which typically has to do with breeding her too soon. So with that being said, if you have, say, an 18-month-old female and she is still puppy-like, she's not, you can just see her mentally being younger than what her age is saying she is. I strongly suggest you skip the heat. How do you guys feel about that? Have you ever had a scenario where you had a female that was too immature to know how to whelp the pups?
It's just an observation. So Betty, when we bred Betty, she was bred on her second heat, and I told Donald I didn't think she was ready, and Donald said, "No, I'm gonna take the time and get her ready, but she gonna make a good mom, a great mom." But I think you take a dog to the vet, they don't even know they're pregnant. You know what I mean? And You do a C-section, they're out, and when they wake up, they got a bunch of little puppies around them.
Good point.
You know, so they I think that just say if they had them naturally, I think that motherly instinct will kick in. You know, just like the progesterone going down to know it's time for birth. You know, depending if they got more than one pup in there or not. But I don't think that instinct, the rest of it, get to kick in if you're doing a C-section. You didn't put the dog, you know, out. You know what I mean? And they wake up and don't know what the hell going on. So that's where Donald come in. And in 3 days, he turned a young mother who didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? To a great mother.
Yeah. So what did you do, Donald? What did you do that made it click?
I think mostly was getting her to lick on the puppies that really jump started the instinct. And you know, she had always been sweet. That's why I had a lot of hope for her, because when other females were in heat, she was lick them. You know, if one had anything in their ear, she was always a licker and nurse. And she just did things at a real fast pace and with a lot of drive. And it made you think that she would not be ready, but she's still got that drive today, and she's a great mother. But I think a lot of it is, you know, just slowly roll her on her back, not get in any hurry, you know, not forcing her. Like she doesn't like to take medicine either. She really doesn't like her. You gotta sneak it in on her, even doing her nails. You know, you gotta kind of just go at a slower pace with and you can't be excited. You know, you just they receive the calm from you.
You know what, Donald, every time you speak, get that bastard.
Donald speaks.
Guys, for those of you that are into breeding or whatnot, or are getting this conversation and it's striking a chord, you need to listen to this man right here. Every time he speaks, he doesn't speak much, but when he does, man, you better have paper and pen ready. Let me put it that way. Let me allude real quick to what Mike Green said, man. And Mike Green brought up a very good point, and that is when a female is taken in to get a C-section done, right? And they open her up. Obviously, she's under anesthesia. A lot of times when they wake up, they're lacking the motherly instinct. The reason that they're lacking that, guys, is because the process of giving birth has totally been changed. In other words, has been stolen from her. All right. So let me explain something to you guys. Where the pups are inside of the mom, we all know is the uterus, right? There is one hormone that contracts the uterus. It's called oxytocin, right? Or pitocin in medical terms, but it's the same thing. Oxytocin. So believe it or not, when she's going through contractions, this oxytocin is being released for the contraction of the uterus, but it is also the bonding hormone for the mom and pups. Okay. So when you have a C-section, that flood of oxytocin that she normally should be receiving through regular birth, we're completely skipping that. So now she wakes up, you know, she's all groggy, she's knocked out. She's looking at the pups. She doesn't have the bonding hormone on her blood. So now it takes a little bit of time for you to work her in. I would strongly suggest that. Go ahead. What you got?
Hey, I gotta ask, man. I've seen a question on here. I think he deserves a spin.
This guy right here, Ziggy Alceves.
Yeah. You tell me what you think.
All right, I'm gonna tell you right now. I want to ask my pup. My pup started eating less last night. He vomited his food. His stool has some mucus. Oh, not good. I guess mucus in it. Didn't find anything. The stool sample and parvo. Now he's not eating. Wow. Thanks.
I felt like he deserved a spin.
Yeah,
and he's asking, some people are asking the right questions, so you never know. Right. I might have to pop up.
Yeah, well, do me a favor. Tell you what, man. set your clock on for every 12 minutes. We're going to give these people spins, the ones that are asking questions, man. That's how we roll with it. If you're a member and you're asking questions, we're going to be giving you spins. Ziggy, real quick, man, I think you have an emergency in your hands. It sounds like your pup is either having parvo or having some sort of amoeba attack to its intestines. That's where you usually get the mucus. Something like coccidia or giardia usually comes along with it. Either way, man, I would not waste time. I would head over to the vet. They're probably going to put him on some sort of IV, and they're going to have to monitor him. So by all means, brother, I know the spin is a fun thing, and it's not a fun time for you, but we're going to give you a spin nonetheless. Just because before we started the live, we said participants, people that are participating and asking the right questions are going to get a spin. So, Ziggy, this one's for you, man. By the way, all stud credits are at 50%. Let me make that correction. All right. It says here you lost, but I could care less. Tell you what we're going to do. Ziggy, do me a favor. Whenever you get a chance, contact with Kyle. I'm going to go ahead and send you Nuvet, okay, so that when your puppy gets out of this, they could have, the multivitamins and joint support. The same ones that I'm giving my dogs here are the same ones you get. I'm going to give you 90-day supply. So do me a favor, get together with Kyle. You could either text him directly at that number down there, or you could download QBN app and go to Holland's Custom Design, Metal Custom Design, and text them through there directly. All right. Kyle, I appreciate you bringing up this question, man. It was utmost importance for us to be able to answer. Let's see, man. Let me go through some. What's up, Bully fam? Let's see. Salute Gaines Bully from Ghost Dog Kennels. What's up?
Hey, salute back.
Salute.
To let's see, man. We got thank you very much, Shane Caress. Guys, again, if you're not members, you're making it difficult for me to ask your questions. If you want to become a member, all you got to do is go down to the description below on this video. For as little as $5 a month, you could be asking questions and answer all member questions. We got Shane Caress saying, if a dog has a C-section, does it always have to have a C-section? And the answer to that, I'm gonna let Gaines, because I've been talking a lot. I'm gonna let Gaines answer that first.
Once you start a C-section, I hope you did it because the breed needs it, and the big heads and the problem. Somebody's going to get stuck. I would guess 2 out of 3 times you might luck out, but it is really not worth it. And I think once you do a C-section, that you should continue to do C-sections with her.
I had we got emergency calls from different people, and I wake up down at 1 a.m. because they didn't go and do their C-section, and dog got stuck. You know what I mean? Now they worry about losing their pet. You know what I mean? So got to coach them through it, and now it did cost you a whole bunch more money than just going through the C-section, because now it's emergency.
Well, I'm going to join in on that, and I'm going to tell you guys that once you do a C-section, you got to continue doing a C-section. And the reason for that is that uterus, right? Once the vet goes in and cuts it open, where the incision is made, when it comes back together, you're going to have nothing but scar tissue there. Mm-hmm. Scar tissue does absolutely nothing except create a border where germs and nothing could come in. That's all it's there for. So then the problem you have is when the female goes, becomes pregnant again, and she goes into giving live birth again, that uterus needs to contract powerfully, right? All cells got to push together so it could push. Well, the problem you got now, you got a good 10 or 15% of that uterus. It does nothing. It's just there. It's not helping. And, you might say 10% is no big deal. Well, first of all, you and I have never had. Second of all, after a good 6 or 8 hours, that 10% makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't play around. And not only that, I'm saying 10%, but you don't know what type of cuts the vet had to do.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So, I've had females where they've had 2 C-sections, and the vet's like, look, man, let's go ahead and spay her. That uterus can't take anymore. I've had dogs where I've had 3 C-sections, and the vet's like, man, that uterus looks marvelous, looks brand new. I'm not in there doing the surgery myself, so.
Yeah, that's a thing too. When you go in for a C-section, as long as they're in there, that vet needs to look for the health of the uterus. And if you remind him to do that, he would give it a better look, probably. Exactly,
and they will advise you as to, hey, you should go one more, or I don't know what's, but it's really not looking too good. So, let's see here. Shane's Caress says, Sons and Daughters of Christ Bullies, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. All right. Bullies saying, I think they make shots of oxytocin. They do. I'll talk to you about that. Would a shot during or right after a C-section will help out with her tending to the pups? This is a phenomenal question. Brayman Bullies, before I forget, man, tell you what. Kyle, do me a favor. Take that picture down so I can give this man a spin. Brayman Bullies, here we go, man. Let's go ahead and get you a free spin over here, bro. And oh, dang it. All right, Brayman. I was rooting for you, man. It's all good. But listen, that's an excellent question. Let me rewind real quick. I have bought oxytocin shots before, and they come in little 3 ml shots. Guys, I already know a lot of you are going to hit me up when you see this. Where did you get it? I can't share that with you. What I can share with you is typically if you have a good relationship with your vet, especially if you have a country vet like I do, and you ask for these things, if they feel comfortable enough with you, they will go ahead and sell them to you. I will say that much. It's amazing because I've actually used oxytocin before, because during regular labor, the female could go into labor, say for a good 6 to 12 hours before she pops out the first pup, right? She pops out the first pup. And let's just say, for argument's sake, I did an x-ray at day 57 and we saw 10 pups in there. What normally will happen is, at least in my case, she'll go ahead and give birth to 4 or 5 pups, and then she'll go into a pause. This pause, a lot of times, will freak people out because it can last 4 or 5 hours, where she just, we're going to take a break. Take a break. But the problem is, right, you should be having pups no more than every 1.5 hours, right? She should be popping out a pup, right? So then when she goes into this pause, this is where I get a lot of people calling me up, yelling and screaming, oh my God, puppies are going to die. My female, no, relax, man. Is the way you know it's a pause is because green stuff stops coming out the cooter, right? When you see green coming out the cooter, green means go. What I mean by go, I mean go to the vet, right? Or pups are coming. Because the reason you get green is because the placenta is on the uterus, right? And we all know blood has iron in it, right? What ends up happening is when the placenta comes off of the uterus as the puppy's making its way in, right? That iron is no longer being oxygenated, obviously. And it turns green, and it gets green coloration, right? So, to make a long story short, whenever my females would go into a pause, I would go ahead and hit them with oxytocin, right? And you'd be surprised, man. they will go they will go right back into giving birth, like nothing ever happened. Right now, this is let me just rewind and say, this is that you just don't give 3 shots one after another, because I make it sound that way. That's not the case. You give them one and you have to wait 15 minutes before you give the next one. Otherwise, you'll pop the uterus, man. Like, I could already see somebody, well, let's just give all 3 one after. No. It's got to be a 15-minute interval. With that being said, we get to the question. And the question is, if the female comes out of a C-section, she is lacking that flood of oxytocin, can you give her the oxytocin shot? Here's the kicker. I've actually had my vet after C-section give me 3 oxytocin shots. Why is that? The reason is twofold. First, the oxytocin, like I said, creates a bond between the mother and the pups. So this, you're absolutely right. This will create a scenario where she starts embracing those pups as hers. But in addition, I did say oxytocin causes the uterus to contract, and thus it cleans itself out, right? There's going to be some blood and blood that becomes jelly-like and whatnot after the operation. All that starts coming out once you hit them with the oxytocin. That's an exceptional observation. Have you guys ever had to give oxytocin to any one of your dogs?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
With one of the vets we use, just as a rule, would send you home with 3 shots, and it was. I know it helps with the production of milk as well, getting the milk drop. And they were if they hadn't dropped their milk and they're not producing right now, they usually give her a shot and then send you home with 2 or 3 shots.
This is so
I didn't know what it was. I call it the milk shot.
The milk shot. Wait a minute. Donald spoke.
Donald speaks.
Milk maker.
Jedi Master. Donald speaks.
There you go. No, listen. I just sat here and spieled all this, and then Donald says something that I totally missed, and that's that also oxytocin triggers, right, a domino effect in the hormone chain to get the female to produce milk. So you're absolutely right, Donald. I totally missed on that as well. So yes, oxytocin, guys, if you have a good relationship with your vet, especially them country vets, ask for oxytocin. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing. We got a great question here by George Barron. What steps should be taken if there are more puppies than the mother can handle? Excellent question. Or if there are concern about the mother's ability to produce enough milk. So mom has 10 titties. She has 15 puppies. What do we do in a scenario like that?
Well, I think we only had I think the biggest litter we had was 11 or 12.
Yeah, 11 pups.
11 pups, but mom had an extra titty. She had 11, man. I don't know. Donald, I mean, they mark him and he rotate them. So, especially when they start to grow, they go through that milk pretty quick. But he got a system. I'm not a whelper. I just observing and watch Donald for me to prepare for my first whelping.
Okay.
So I got to take 3 weeks off of work. You know what I mean? But I think after watching the litters we drop, I think, and then he right down the road anyway.
You feel more comfortable. Yeah, you could always call him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah. I just watched
on that big litter we had, man. 6 of them had stripes on their head, and 5 of them didn't. So we had the stripes
and the solids, like playing pool.
And we rotate them. The stripes go first this time, then the solids go first next time, and it was
wow. I just hold on a second, man. Donald spoke again. Hold on. You're not getting off of this that easy.
Jedi Master. Donald speak.
Jedi Master. I never thought of that. all the
Yeah.
solids and all the stripes. That's excellent. I always did it. The way I always did it is males and females, or and I did do this in the past as well, is I grouped them by size.
Right.
So smaller, medium, and the bigger ones. And I would make sure I get the smallest pups. All right. So if mom is having a problem producing milk, right? What I'm going to do is before mom gives birth, I'm probably going to buy some colostrum. Okay. Why is this important? Because the first 48 hours, even though it's white and it looks like milk, it's really not milk what she's producing. She's producing colostrum. Remember I said when puppies are born, they're born with an immature immune system. So colostrum serves as their surrogate immune system for the first 27 days so that their immune system, when it kicks in at day 28, everything should be honky-dory. Does this mean that, the puppy can't get sick? Absolutely not. This is one of the reasons why whenever you drop a litter, you shouldn't be having your neighbors coming over with their dirty hands handling your pups, your grandmother that's, sneezing or she's sick or whatever, sneezing on the pups. They have a compromised immune system. It's immature. So even though there's colostrum there and is meant to serve as immunity for them, be cognizant of the fact that they shouldn't have too many people handling them, or they shouldn't be around germs for that matter. Now, if mom is having a hard time producing milk, one of the things you can do, guys, is warm compresses. Okay, just grab yourself a towel, get yourself a nice little bowl, have lukewarm water. Put it in there and then put it on the breast, right? And that should help a little bit. All right. I'm building it up, so work with me. Next thing you do is you feed her dairy, cottage cheese, milk, goat milk, dairy. All right. Give her dairy. Dairy's easy when the body breaks down dairy, it's very easy to reprocess it into milk. You got to realize that when mom gives birth, her caloric necessity goes up because milk production takes so much for her body to do. So by giving her dairy, sour cream, kefir, whatever, it's a lot easier for the body to just, okay. Once it breaks it down and it breaks it down to building blocks, it's like, okay. So we just put it over here and it automatically becomes milk. It just becomes milk a lot easier, a lot faster. Other thing I would do is what Donald said. I would talk to my vet immediately, let him know mom's having milk production issues. If I could get oxytocin, right? And you want to get that in there if you haven't done so. Now, if you got 15 puppies and there's only 10 titties, you're either gonna have to break them down into solids and stripes, like Jedi Master Donald said, or you're gonna have to break them down in some sort of groups, right? What I would suggest, say you got 15, I wouldn't put 10 and then 5. I would do 5, then 5, and then 5. And the first 5, when they're taken off, I put them in front of mom and let her lick away and wear them out. And go ahead and put the next 5 and rotate it like that. Because if them eating is important, mom licking on them is just as important, so they can defecate and urinate. If you have a puppy that mom doesn't lick enough on them, what's going to happen is the poop is going to become hard. They're going to become constipated. Then what's going to happen is you're going to see some poop in the booty hole of the puppy. No bueno. Why is that? Because you'll have skin breakdown. If the poop remains there too long, you got to realize the acids in the intestine are on the poop. So if it remains on the skin for too long, it'll either blister or break the skin down. If it breaks the skin down, you now have an opening for an infection. And the fastest thing that's going to kill your pup is not that they're hungry, it's going to be an infection. I guarantee I've seen it firsthand, unfortunately. So definitely good question, man. George Barron, real quick, man. Let me go ahead and give you a spin. George Barron, this was for you, man. Let's go.
We got a little lag on our end.
Oh, whoa, he got to spin again. He got to spin again. He got to spin again. All right. Here we go. Here we go, brother. None but the best. None but the best. Let's go. There it is. Oh, man, that wheel has been rough, man. It's been rough. But hey, man, thanks for your question. That was pretty good. We got Ghost Dog Kennels. You guys ever had a female who picks a favorite pup to care for? Do you have a female that has a favorite pup to care for? I've had a female that likes to pick on a particular pup. I wouldn't say that she cares for a pup in particular. You guys ever had that?
Man, the opposite.
I had it.
I had
Right. When they neglect a puppy that's preemie or whatever, they just leave it out to die. I've seen that. Yeah,
I've seen that. But I had we had Grand Champion Thor and Grand Champion Bass. And but anyway, I was confused on which one we was gonna keep. And I said, "Don, let me just take one home and get it." I already had Betty at home after 6 weeks or 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I took her home. But anyway, I took Thor, that's the one I wanted. I took her home, man, and Betty didn't like that pup, man. She actually kicked him off the bed. They lay on the bed next to me, and she just did a damn donkey kick. And I was like, what the hell, dog? The puppy went flying off the deal. And then I like, man, I don't think she like this dog. And I brought Bass home and tried her out with him. And goddamn, she was acting like a mother again. She was letting him breastfeed and all of that all over again, licking his butt. And I mean, just really love Bass. I told Donna I didn't understand it.
That's funny.
You know, sometimes all I know, and I can't say exactly what they pick up on, but I could tell you I want to say out of 10 puppies, out of 10 situations where the mom has kind of pushed the pup away, I would say 80% of them have passed, irregardless what I did. They know something is up. What it is, I don't know, right? But the minute they shove a pup to the side, and it's usually one of them preemies, one of them little smaller puppies that can't get to it or whatever, she just doesn't have the patience. She kind of shoves them to the side. I've sat there. I've tried to, feed them, do this, that. At the end of the day, they weren't able to make it. So nature's perfect in every way, man. Dad fishing. Go ahead, my bad.
This was at 8 or 9 weeks old. It wasn't like right off the beginning of the litter.
Yeah. And it was funny. We were keeping them, we were evaluating. Betty was always there, and man, she would really treat Thor like she'd do flybys on him, running as fast as she could. And he's done.
Oh yeah.
Here come Bass, and she's like, "Oh, come here, honey." It's kind of like my mom.
So then you did. So she did have a favorite. Huh? She did have a favorite. I've never seen that. I've never seen a favorite being played. We got Girl Dad Fishing saying, when mom isn't producing enough milk, is calcium supplements the only way to bring it up? Not necessarily. Like I said earlier, Gary, here's something I'll tell you that I give my pregnant females that I've seen helps with milk production, and that's Nuvet, which is a multivitamin, and New Joint DS, which is double strength. And when we say our pups are on Nuvet and New Joint ever since they're puppies, it's true, because while mom is eating the stuff, she's putting it out through the milk. And the reason that we give them this while they're pregnant, by the way, that's our ordering code. You cannot order it without an ordering code, and you can only buy it online. You can't buy it in stores. The reason we give them this, right, while they're pregnant is rather simple, guys. They need the vitamins. Also, they're being sucked dry of their soft tissues in order to give that to the pups, right? Because the pup's bones really don't calcify until day 57. So all that cartilage, all that stuff that's going in, it's coming off of mom. Here you have it. This is Nuvet, regularly priced at $55.50. If you do auto ship, you get it for $47.15, and you save $8.35. Here's the awesome part about it. That bottle right there is a 90-day supply, not 30, not 60. This is 90-day supply. And if your dog weighs less than 5 pounds, then it's a 180-day supply that you'll be receiving. Look at the improvement in just about 18 days. Look at the difference from pictures that have been sent in of dogs that had been on Nuvet. I mean, the difference is undeniable. In addition to that, something I want to share with you guys. Yeah, check it out. Look at this. This within a week. Look at the difference in this dog. Right? So a lot of you have written to me and you're asking, go ahead and bring that down for a second, Kyle. I've had a lot of you writing to me and asking, well, if the dog is genetically east-west, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's nothing you can do to fix it, but you still want to supplement because the poor dog is going to be living in pain. In addition, I haven't seen anybody purposefully buying a pup from a mom and dad that are completely east-west. Typically, you're buying pups from dogs that are as correct up front as possible. If your dog is looking like Charlie Chaplin and their mom and dad are not, then there's something you're doing in the diet that's causing this. Dietary insufficiency or even vitamin insufficiency has been proven to cause orthopedic issues in dogs ever since dogs were domesticated. That's just the bottom line. So it's as simple as ordering Nuvet and New Joint Plus DS double strength. They come in 90-day supply, guys. You know, if you have a female's about to go in heat, she has all her multivitamins and glucosamine on there. If she's already pregnant, pups can't suck too much off of her. You're giving it through the Nuvet and New Joint DS. Once the pups come off of mom and they go straight into mush, guess what? We're adding Nuvet and New Joint DS straight into the mush. So then, you know, a lot of times people are like, well, Raul, how is it that your dogs are so clean and correct up front and the feet, you know, they're so straight and I want my dogs to have straight feet and I keep talking to you about Nuvet and New Joint Plus. Bottom line, that's it. I mean, the proof has been in the pudding. So let me get off of that. Let's go to the next question. We got Infamous saying, if C-section isn't available, what is the best advice you can give to someone whose dog is ready to deliver? Huh. Okay. What do you guys got on that? C-section is not available. The dog is ready to deliver.
So I have to understand that. I mean, they mean like it's an emergency and it's not available?
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be an emergency, but I would think you want to prepare for one.
Right.
I would think, you know, you're not going to be able to do it.
The only thing I ever learned, like I said, I learned from Donald. We have some dogs that come out with some, look, Tugboat got a 27-inch head. You got dogs that come out with some big old heads, and it's just a risk. You know what I mean? I wouldn't breed a dog if I could do a C-section. And it ain't, you know, it's not a pit bull. These got bigger heads. I just wouldn't take the chance. Me personally.
If you had to,
let's put ourselves in that scenario. Let's say the day of, right? You had everything set up to go, you know, and the day of there was a tornado that tore the vet place apart, and it's raining, and then it snowed, and there's a forest fire, and all hell broke loose, and you just can't make it, right? What can we do at home as a preventative? You know, if you're stuck in a scenario where you can't do a C-section,
I'm not. Yeah, I don't have no answer for it.
No.
I look, the first thing that comes to my mind is get a glove, get some Vaseline, go in as far as you can, and make sure you put as much Vaseline as you can in that canal, right? I mean, I'm not saying that's going to fix everything, but hey, that helps
Right.
10%, right?
Mhm.
Helps 10%. So it's 10% now that we've improved. What else can we do? What else can we do that would also be able to help?
I think just getting her to a quiet spot, just like you had a birthing area, just in your whelping box, put her in that. And, it's, if she's never had a litter, she's really going to be kind of just relying on the nature, and I think you just need to keep your fingers crossed and just kind of be there, just encouraging her that she's doing a good thing, And
I guess if you see one stuck after you lubed it up, you can try to help get it out. You know what I mean? But
I was gonna hit that. Good point.
Yeah, but I just, me personally, if like Betty, she had her first litter, and I think they were 6 weeks. He was weaning them off of milk, but my dog, man, then gave everything she had to the puppies and got real small. And I didn't care nothing about them puppies, man. I care about my dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I much rather not even, you know what I mean? Not even think about a situation that.
Whenever she had her first litter, it was on Memorial Day at 8:00 on a Monday night of Memorial Day, and the vet,
We had a winter storm.
Yeah, the winter. Yeah,
we had a blizzard.
Early blizzard came in, and that vet made it back, and she said, "Man, the reason it took her so long is because the first puppy was stuck, and there's no way she could have had the rest of them."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was already in the canal, and just we made it, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine not having to sit up.
I would be prepared. I would definitely be prepared to help pull, especially those first couple of pups. I would stick my hand in the cooter. Yeah, I said cooter, right?
Mm-hmm.
You stick your hand in the cooter as best you can. I've had scenarios where my hand was too big and I had to get my daughter, and she could go a little bit further. And she would tell me, yeah, I feel the sack. And as long as you feel that there's a sack in there, okay, it's not an immediate go crazy emergency. But know that you got about 15 to 20 minutes to get that puppy out. In addition, if that sack is broken, if you're able to stick your hands in there and you feel their little paws and there's no sack, bruh, that's pretty much, you better move, and you better move fast. Otherwise, the pup's gonna die. Real quick, guys, let me stop this real quick. And I want to send a special shout out to Malachi.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
I just became a member, number love, man. We do this every Monday, 8 p.m. CST. We're going to answer all member questions. Members, don't freak out. We're about to go into speed answering, right? Malachi says, I appreciate the information you guys share. First time bully owner here, 1 month in. Number love, man.
All right. Good deal.
Absolutely. Keep coming. This is your home. We're going to answer your question along with all other member questions here every Monday at 8 p.m. CST. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to get back your member questions. Okay. So we got infamous. Okay, that was the question. If it wasn't, Cody Boone says, instead of cutting my puppy's food with rice, trying to cut down the protein content, could I use vegetables and fruit for east-west? I know a little bit about this question because this has a lot to do with me telling people to reduce the protein content, because that usually helps with the soft tissue. Here's the deal. Vegetables by far have a lot less calories than rice ever will. That puppy needs calories because they're growing. They need calories to burn. They're running around. They're checking out the world around them. If you start giving them vegetables, I'm just afraid that you're not going to meet their caloric needs. So what I would recommend is mix the rice with the vegetables, but make sure you're giving enough rice, because those puppies, you know, their heart rate goes close to 200 beats a minute. When they're running around and playing around and doing whatnot, you definitely don't want to do anything that's going to curtail that stage of their life. Real quick, girl dad fishing. How soon should you switch pregnant mom over to puppy food? How quick do y'all switch your pregnant moms to puppy food?
About 5 weeks.
5 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, about 5 weeks in.
5 weeks in. I've heard some people that advise me, and I used to do it back in the day as well. I mean, let me be upfront. I used to put my females on puppy food once I realized that they were pregnant. And all that is so because puppy food, believe it or not, is formulated where the puppy food is more calorie dense, right? So for every cup of puppy food, you have more calories than you ever would for, say, adult dog food.
Yeah, I was saying like 5 weeks into her pregnancy.
Okay, my bad. I misunderstood it. Okay, yeah, I could agree with that. I like feeding raw, but guys, and I fed raw for the first time in one of the pregnancies, and everything went great. But I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe I'm just stuck in my ways. I'm going back to puppy kibble whenever I find out they're pregnant. Why is this? Why do I conclude or want to do it that way? I conclude and want to do it that way because I feel that it's less intrusive in the female's body. What I mean by that is when you feed raw, you got to deworm, right? And even though you could be deworming with Pyrantel or deworming with fenbendazole, irregardless, I feel it's just being more invasive. You're putting chemicals into a dog that is currently pregnant. So I just don't feel comfortable with that. That's just my personal choice. If you guys feel like, you know, you got to feed raw through the pregnancy, hey, more power to you. But I just wanted to share that with y'all, with you guys.
Well, also do prenatals at the same time with the puppy food.
Yes. Yeah. Well, what we do, this is what we use as prenatal. This is why I love this stuff, man. It's a multivitamin. It's joint support. You could give it before she's pregnant. You could give it during pregnancy. You could give it when you take the puppies off. It's automatic. But yes, I agree with you with that. John Lyon saying, what's good? Y'all, long time no see. Nothing but love, man. Appreciate you. We got Michael Higginson saying, how long do you need to be right there with the mama and the pups when they're born before you leave them mostly in the mother's care? Excellent question, Michael Higginson. Before we answer this question, we're going to go ahead and give you a free spin because I feel is one hell of a question. Here we go. And Michael Higginson, he got a channel banner. Free channel banner, Michael Higginson. Michael Higginson, get in contact with Kyle, and we're going to go ahead and put your banner somewhere around the screen for 30 days for free, man. Nothing but love for you. Let's answer that question. How long do you need to be right there with the mama and the pups when they're born before you leave them mostly in the mother's care? Talk to me, Donald. Talk to me, Mike.
I would never leave them in the mother's care.
Right.
So you would be there with mom for 5 weeks straight?
Huh?
You're going to be in the same room with mom for 5 weeks straight and the pups?
Yeah, you remove the mom out of the pup area. You know what I mean? So, I like I said, I'm not a whelper, but I wouldn't leave them in there. And the thing about
you're going to be there 24 hours a day.
No. You
okay,
puppies,
that's what I'm saying.
He's saying how long do you know what I mean? You wait to remove the mom, and people take, they let them do it naturally, like they out in the, if they were naturally in the wild or something. But no, I think never.
I think
we take the mom.
I think you misread the question. I think he misread the question. How long do you need to be right there with the mama and pups when they are born before you leave them mostly in the mother's care? So mom just gave birth right now. How long are you going to hang out with them before you say, hey, you know what? I think mom's got this. How long?
No. Mom don't have it.
We're not going to leave mom with the pups unless we're there.
Right.
When we need a break, we take mom away from the pups, put her in her kennel right next to the
pups.
Yeah, right next to them.
Bro, listen. Hold on a second, man. Hold on. We got to do this right.
Jedi Master. Donald speaks.
Yes. I got to. I'm a lot of you, man. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless the mom, for some reason, was being aggressive with the pups or sitting on them, or I could understand that. But me personally, I'm on top of them, especially the first 48 hours, so they all get colostrum and all that. But I'm looking at mom and seeing what her natural response is, especially when I let her out and she comes back in. Is she feeding them? Is she cleaning the pups? Is she being careful when she sits? Right? If she does that on a consistent basis, I let it go. I let moms be in there with the pups. But you're telling me you don't?
No, ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody whelp different, and I think if you got a great mom like that, and more power to you. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a way for us to just look at the pups and just constantly evaluate and look at now we're talking about a little older and imprinting on the puppies.
There'll be a couple times a day that between feedings we leave mom in there, but we're right there. I mean, the pups are in our living room, and that's just what we do. And I know everybody can't do that, but we've avoided. Nothing bad has really ever happened. We let them in there. It's a real important that she be in there with them a lot to bond.
Right.
But we gotta sleep too, and we sleep a lot better with mom in the kennel right next to the pup.
Oh man! But let me tell you, I love the fact that you guys do it totally different than me. You left me completely flabbergasted because I never thought that this is how y'all did it, man. So I appreciate y'all sharing that. Mike said, hold on a second. We got Kyle waving us down. What you got, Kyle?
So I was curious, even the first 2 weeks, how do y'all work that out when you're sleeping, Donald? Y'all get up every 2 hours and make sure they're fed?
I'll start off with a break of 3 hours, and it goes that I'll stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning. And then my wife gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, we're doing 2 hours. After they get through eating and everybody is done, I set my puppy alarm for 2 hours from the end of the feeding.
Wow.
And so you're just having to mess with it about every 3 hours. And then you got that pup that's smaller and you're putting him on a little bit longer. He gets to go first. And it's a lot of common sense involved, but I mean, my wife has always been just so good with the puppies that she gonna make sure everybody eats the same exact amount, and it's just been something we really enjoy.
Wow, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad you guys are sharing that with us.
In 10 days. For 10 days, give it your total all. And by the end of that 10 days, you should have a feel whether your mama is good at going back into the whelping area. And, we don't have carpet, but we have rugs. And I don't like just giving her free roam because it's like the milk is always leaking out and it stinks. And it just a lot cleaner process, getting you an organized system.
Right. It makes like you said, everybody whelps different. Everybody does things differently.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate the fact that you guys are doing it different. Michael Hayes is saying, how do you decide how many C-sections a mama dog can have and still be safe? I could tell you by a rule of thumb is 3, but in reality, the vet will be the one to tell you.
Right.
Depending how much scar tissue that uterus has. And Sarata says, I lay on the floor on yoga mats and blankets next to whelping box for 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Big Ziggy Alzavet says, I got some stuff from the vet took him last night. Remember, he's the one that had the puppy with the parvo.
Okay.
I got Entice, Proviable, Forte, a paste, yes, and capsule, and GI antibiotic. What they gave me, see what you think. If it's coccidia or parvo, see what you think. His coccidia and parvo were negative. So he was negative for coccidia and parvo. I'm thinking if it was mucus in the stool, I'm thinking there's an amoeba. So if it's not coccidia and giardia, if it's not that, it's got to be something similar to that, in my opinion. Real quick, guys, we got a visitor over here, and Adam Fields. Oh, wait a minute. What you got, Hollywood?
Hey, he's hanging out. He's waiting on us.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he asked us a while back. He's just hanging out. Unless he wants to talk.
You want to talk, Adam Fields? Is that a yes? No, he's not answering. All right, let's get through some questions here real quick, man. All right, Roan just became a member. Hollywood, drop it, man.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
Pues que sí, cabrón. We're here at 8 p.m. CST. Ask questions, man. We're going to answer. We're not leaving until they're answered. Jaira Grimm says, I never had a litter, but what temperature do you know when she's ready? Oh, that's an excellent question. 98 degrees, usually 98 and a half with my Excels. How about you guys with pockets?
Yeah, I would say you could figure out what her normal was, and then it's going to drop. When it drops a couple degrees from her normal, taken at the same time every day, then you'd know it's getting within 24 to 48 hours that she's going to start pushing.
You do a dang reverse progesterone.
Yeah,
that too.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, reverse progesterone will also let you know, because once the progesterone numbers are below 1, the surfactant inside of the puppy's lungs is good enough for them to be born, and they're about to come out. So you're absolutely right, Mike. Drippy, we got Drippy Smooth in the house.
Let me get a Yoda ring, man.
Hold up. Give him some love, Hollywood. Give him a Yoda.
Get a master. Donald speaks.
There you go. Oh man. Let me see. Now, I left the screen. Okay, here we go. Drippy Smooth. What's up, man? Raul, this is for the non-members. If you see one of them with a good question, I will pay for the membership for 2 months for you to answer it. Wow, Drippy Smooth.
Oh, yeah, Drippy on it.
Yeah. Hold on, man, Drippy. We got to tell you what, man. I'm gonna give you a free skin for that. Nothing but love, man. Here we go. Drippy Smooth. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, stop. Oh, man.
You got a delay over here.
Yeah.
Man, Drippy. I was rooting for you, man. Number love, man. I appreciate you. I will find a good question and offer him 2 months on your behalf. Adam Fields saying, go ahead, Money Mike.
Hey, I was thinking we was gonna talk about litter, and then we was gonna talk about temperament, but I guess we can do temperament later.
Yeah, here's the thing, man.
We ain't got out the first week of the litter.
Here's the issue, man. We're loaded with questions, man. It's a good thing. And
That's
so
good.
we got to crank them out. For those that don't know, do you spay during a C-section or let the female recover then spay when retiring a female? My recommendation on this is you never spay when you do a C-section. Why is this? Because when the female gives birth, she is letting out all this blood, and then on top of that, the uterus is going to be so full of blood because the pups and all that were there that you're removing a good amount of blood. I got a phone that keeps going off. Is that you, Mike?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, there you go.
I want to say one thing. I think in that neurological development of the litter, it's really important that they stay with mama as much as you can.
Yes.
But the question was unattended for periods of time, and don't take the whole bottle of aspirin, just a little bit. That you could take her away, but as a general rule, it's helping those pups develop to stay with mom and stay with their siblings. So it's not if you don't, you're gonna have like little Russian babies from an orphanage. They've never had contact with their mom, so it doesn't make their brain develop right.
Well, this question is going to bring us right back to it, man. And this is Michael Higgins saying, if you have an antsy mother and she seems to want to lay on the puppies without thinking, what's the best way to make sure she doesn't do that to the puppies and still get the care they need? You see, Mike, in this scenario that you're presenting to me, I would do exactly what Donald and Mike are doing, where you would feed the pups supervised. Then the way I do it is a little bit different than you guys. I don't take mom and put her in a cage next to the pups. What I do is I put the pups in a box, in a see-through box, and I'll go ahead and put them, place them inside of the pool where she's at, and pretty much I'm laying there with them overnight. And whenever I go up again, let them back out. That's how I would do it. RGB says, we're expecting our female to give birth to a small litter of 5 any day now, but she's on day 59 and has no sign of labor. Do smaller litters go up to 63 days? My experience is yes. Then again, my dogs are bigger than their dogs. They breed pockets. I breed XLs. I could tell you, if you have 5 or more pups, expect puppies to be born on day 59. If you have, say, 2, 3, 4 pups, then you expect maybe up to day 63. How about you guys?
Oh, we do it different.
Okay.
We let Donald do the math, and we schedule that C-section on that day.
Yeah.
So it's usually about 60 or 61.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't believe the female gonna make it, man. At 55 days.
What are your pockets? What are your typical litter size? What's how many puppies do you normally get?
5 to 11.
Yeah, I would say the number we keep getting over and over seem to be 6
or 7.
Yeah,
that'd be 6 or 7 be right there.
Okay. Okay. So it's not too much different than XLs.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think they're bigger puppies. I don't know. Maybe
what's crazy is the biology of a smaller dog is actually different than a bigger dog. As crazy as that may sound.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know this? Well, typically, at what age do your pockets go in heat?
Man, probably 6 months to 11 months.
Yeah.
Anybody that has XLs knows that their XLs are usually going to go into the heat, females that is, 10 to 12, 13 months. That's the typical. Yeah, that's the typical for XLs. Now, you might have an outlier that does it at 9 months, at 8 months. I'm talking about typical. Typical, you're looking at around 10 months. And, for all intents and purposes, pockets, in my opinion, tend to mature a lot faster than an XL would. An XL, fully mature XL male, 30 months. What's a fully mature pocket male? What's the age on that?
They can have a pop, according to the blood or what's in them, as late as 3 years. But you're basically looking at the mature dog at 20 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the times shorten up, which amazes me that when it's time to give birth, they actually take a couple days more. Next question, we got Companion Bully saying, I just had a natural birth with my girl Iris. She had 13 puppies. 13th came out stillborn. Then one died within 24 hours. Would this had been an issue if I would have done a C-section?
That's a lot of puppies, man.
Yeah, I would say that first one that was stillborn. That's a.
I would have to know, like, when he did his breeding. Did he do it over? Did he skip a day between doing breedings? Did he go back to back? Like, how far apart from that stillborn to the one that was more mature in that litter?
Right.
Because sometimes I can look at a litter and say, like, hey, this one's about a day behind on the rest of these right here,
All of a sudden, I lost focus there.
There you go.
That was pretty funny there for a second. I will tell you, if there was anything you could do to sidestep any one of those issues, it would have been a C-section. There's no guarantee on the one that was stillborn. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
On the one that died within 24 hours, more likely than not, because you got to realize mother goes through trauma giving birth, but so do the pups. And it's meant that way. So they could expand their lungs, so they could do all these other things. But in the process, things could get damaged. Make no mistakes about that. Ziggy says, I don't want to make a live of me. Last moment for me. Vet said to take him off raw. I was feeding ground beef and chicken, didn't fully transition. All right. So let me stop right there real quick, because this is very near and dear. You guys know I feed raw, but you guys also know that I deworm religiously in order to feed raw, because unfortunately, when you feed raw, things like amoebas and everything else in between, bacteria, viruses are coming in, right? So the minute you see mucus in a pup or whatnot, you did the right thing by taking him to the vet. I'm sorry to hear that, he had what he had, but I will say, when we transition our pups to mush, they're eating raw right then and there, but I'm also deworming. Now, the way I deworm, say, for example, with fenbendazole, okay, fenbendazole, it's one of the most mild or moderate, if you want to refer to it, dewormers out there. What I do is I'm going to go ahead and give fenbendazole for 3 days straight. Then I'm going to wait 21 days. And exactly on day 21, I'm going to hit it again for 3 days straight. Why is that? Well, when you hit it for 3 days straight, you're going to kill the adults, right? Problem is, you got to wait 21 days for the very last egg to hatch, so that then you can kill it again, right? And that's why I do it again in 3 days straight. Also, one thing I will say, and it's what we do, right? We give our puppies raw garlic. There's a process to it, right? You gotta slice it or crush it, let it sit for 15 minutes, and then for every one piece of garlic, right? Basically, I try and calculate the puppy's weight. So for every garlic clove, we equate that to a 100-pound dog. So if you got a little 3-pound puppy or little 5-pound puppy, you're getting a little sliver of a slice of that garlic. Okay. But I feel that it's a positive thing, because garlic is antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral. I mean, it's out there killing everything. And it gives your puppies more of that gut support that you truly need, guys. Here you go, Girl Dad Fishing. What is something you will not whelp a litter without?
Oh, a good one.
This is an easy one, too. What's the one thing you guys will not whelp a litter without?
The mother.
Come on, man.
Donald.
I was going to say, man, if he don't say Donald, man, I don't know what to
I ain't gonna whelp one without Donald, man.
How about the heat lamp? I would not whelp a litter without a heat lamp. They're asking for trouble. They would die right away.
I got a big electric blanket, made for dogs, and man, that's been a really good thing.
Okay. You put it underneath the puppies like the picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Dang, look at that, man. How many did you have?
12.
Well, yeah.
God, dog. And the mom will climb right in there and lay down and feed them in there?
Yeah. You see that setup? That's exactly how I set it up. She is able to come in and go out because she will need a break. Guys, do not put a mama dog in there and forget about her either. They need a break, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not now that they're only a week old, but by the time the pups are about 3 to 4 weeks old, you'll start seeing her start to shrivel real quick, because now they're able to move around and feed easier, and that will suck her dry. So, you got to let the mama dog be able to step out. All right, HDL bullies. Raul, why does mom stop to clean the puppy even when it's not her first litter, which is strange? All right, HDL. Drippy Smooth said he was going to go ahead and donate 2-month membership for somebody. So here he is. One thing I got to ask you, though, man, I'm looking at my logo in your logo. Let me bring Kyle in. What you got, Kyle?
The problem is if Drippy goes and he adds and he tries to pay for somebody's membership, it'll just do a random one. Remember that.
Okay.
So he would have to. I don't know how he's going to do that. If that's
all right. Well, we'll just answer HDL's question, and then he can donate to 2 people, random people, and they'll just get membership. Why would she stop cleaning the puppies? Out of comfort, out of laziness, or there's something environmentally that's afflicting her. Donald said something earlier about making sure you have a nice, quiet place to keep mom and the pups, right? He also said sometimes he may whelp the litter right there in the living room. Well, I'll see this, because I've whelped in the living room before. I had a female that was particular to whenever I put the TV on, if it was too loud, I could tell it was affecting her in a negative way. So we just didn't turn the TV on in the living room for the 2 months she was there. There was no issue for us. But you got to be able to pick up on these subtleties. And a lot of times, if you've only done it once or twice, it'd be kind of hard to pick up on them. What do you guys got on this? Why would mom not want to clean the pups, even though it's not her first litter?
Maybe you just got to keep kind of rubbing her lips with that puppy. It would make me wonder if she was like acting like the pups were tasting poisonous to her. That'd probably be a veterinarian question where you needed to go check her milk or see what was going on with the whole cycle of intake and then defecation.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of brought something up that reminded me of something. In the past, I used to give my pregnant females garlic. I stopped doing that, and it was not because it was affecting the pups or affecting her. What was happening was the taste of her milk was changing, and the pups don't want to drink the milk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stopped it because of that. So what Donald is saying could be true. If you're deworming the pups, or you see, this is where the dewormer comes in. You're deworming the pups or whatever, and she licks, and somehow that taste is not something that she likes, she'll stop doing it.
Man, give him the Yoda ring, man. Give him the
Yoda ring, Hollywood. Hollywood's sleeping in the back. There you go.
I want to show him. I don't know if he can upload this. I want to show him these puppies at 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hey, you got to remember, I got 10 million things going on back here too.
Oh, you got the boards. He pushing all the buttons. Seeing the spaceship.
Yeah, man. Buttons. He was practicing. He was practicing a dance I can no longer speak of.
Yeah. Hey, and I was trying to figure out how that guy had your logo in the background behind his. And
that was pretty weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. He might just like the way our logo looked. Ziggy saying, I've heard of people using Codasol during pregnancy. I don't know about that. I'm sorry. You got me on that one, man. You got me on that one.
You got me.
Inserata saying, does the calcium syringe like Breeder's Edge, OxyCal stimulate the uterus or no? No. Calcium does not stimulate. Okay, let me rewind. Calcium is the ingredient needed for contraction, but it doesn't stimulate a contraction. Okay, what stimulates a contraction is oxytocin. Okay, but if your female doesn't have enough calcium, oxytocin starts telling the uterus to contract, and it only has 3 contractions, but it needs 5 to push the puppy out. That's where you run into preeclampsia or full-blown eclampsia. And that's where your calcium stores are wore out and the uterus can't contract. That's one of the main reasons why I tell you guys about Nuvet and New Joint Plus. Look, check it out. Look what it has on there. Vitamin A, E, and C. But look over here. Look, it's got calcium in there. It's got phosphorus. It's got zinc. It's got everything your dog needs, guys. So if you're not giving your dog a calcium supplement, in my opinion, get yourself on Nuvet and New Joint DS. Not only is it going to give your dog calcium, it's going to give, like you've seen on here, vitamin C, right? That's probably one of the most important things your dog is going to need, because in order for your dog to consume whatever it is that it's eating, it's going to need that combination of vitamin A, E, and C. And this gives it to them in the right amounts. So you don't want to have a situation where you have preeclampsia or whatnot. Get yourself some Nuvet and New Joint DS. 90-day supply. You can't beat it. Kyle, do me a favor. Can you go ahead and drop the ordering code so people could order it and we could bypass the situation? There you go. That's our ordering code, 513237. You can't buy this stuff in stores. You can go online at nuvet.com, and you need that code to be able to order. Otherwise, they won't sell it to you. All right, let's go to the next question. Girl Dad Fishing, how soon should you deworm after mom has had puppies? This is an excellent question. Girl Dad, before I go any further, you just earned yourself a free spin. All right, so let's make it happen for you. Girl Dad, boom, here we go. Which one is it? Stop.
Oh.
Almost got herself or himself half of a free studding, man. All right, that was close. Girl Dad, this is a good question, Donald. You want to take a shot at it first?
Yeah, I will. Like, I have a girl that's going to be bred probably this Thursday or Friday. So I did a 3-day fenbenzidol worming with her right now. And then I won't worm her again until about 15 days before she's gonna have the C-section. And doing that, I feel good about. I'm not going to worm her again until the puppies are 2 weeks old. And I'm going to worm mom with Pyrantel. I've used fenbenzidol all before the birth, and then I'm using Pyrantel until the pups are 6 weeks old, every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks on the pups or on mom?
Both.
Okay, because I was going to say giving it to mom is also giving it to them, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's your answer, guys. Girl Dad Fishing, how much weight on average should puppies gain daily? That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I want to say within a week they should double in weight.
Mm-hmm.
But to tell you exactly how many grams within a 24-hour time frame, that's kind of hard. Also, you could be weighing them at the same time. All a puppy has to do in order to change their weight is pee and poop. And all of a sudden, you're thinking they're not gaining anything. They were gaining. Right. The difference is when you weighed them the first time, they had 8 and they hadn't pooped or peed. So it could get a little confusing there. I could tell you at the 1 week mark, they should double their weight. I would dare to say that on the 2nd week mark, they should have already doubled their weight. What do you guys think about that?
No, you're right. Yeah. We have people that we've used for whelping, and they weigh them every day, and we hadn't done that.
Well, my hat off to them. I do my own whelpings in house. I don't sit there and weigh puppies daily. I do keep my eyes on them. The one that's struggling, if there's a preemie that's struggling, that's a whole different story.
Right, that's different.
Yeah,
but like Donald got his hands on these puppies like every day, so he's looking for all them signs of you know what I mean, where they look like they're declining.
They're vigorous and nursing hardy. They have a hardy appetite and
good suctions.
Right, and them we were so impressed. I think we've had 1 litter, 2 litters, maybe whelped for the first 4 weeks by somebody else. And, it's all out there on YouTube, how to do that weigh-in and what they should gain and everything. So the information is out there.
There you
but
go.
We've not done it on a healthy-looking litter.
Jedi Master.
Donald speaks.
Hey, he's dropping it, man. What is the spin rule? Victor Rodriguez, you must be a member. You must ask some good freaking questions, bro. That's pretty much it. Inserata saying, if you're giving Nuvet Plus, folic acid and or prenatal, as soon as she goes into heat, should help with a lot of issues. I have to agree with this.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. Have you guys ever given puppies mom's plasma? I have not. Have you guys?
I heard of it, and I have friends that have plasma in the refrigerator, so
Okay.
it seemed to work for them. But I hadn't seen Donald grab plasma.
the professional whelper that we used at one time, it was just a standard operating practice that she would get the plasma and have it on hand in case it was necessary for faded puppy syndrome. I think is what
that's what I've heard.
Plan was used for.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. We got Infamous saying, do you recommend using an incubator for every litter? Not really. The incubator, at least for us, we only use it on a puppy that's starting to fade. So let's talk about that for a second. What are the signs that a puppy's fading? Let's talk about that for a second. What are signs that you look for, Mike and Donald, that a puppy would be fading?
I think it's total inability to latch, and that he just had a real kind of a droopy feeling, kind of in the neck muscles. There was really just kind of a slumped head and
right,
just a general lifelessness
and crying, right? Crying as if though pain, not feeling good.
Get comfortable,
yeah, most definitely. Also, a drop in temperature. That's a dead giveaway. Usually before they get to that point, what you'll see is, like Donald said, inability to latch on, or they're trying to latch on, but they can't. It's usually because their development is a little bit behind the rest of the pups. That's where you can come in. That's where that incubator could come in. What I would do is I'll put them in the incubator and I crank the oxygen to about 1.5 liters. I don't put it right underneath the pup because oxygen can become toxic if all you're giving it is oxygen. But I put it, say, on the opposite side of the puppy, and you have 1.5 liters pumping in there. So this way, it doesn't have to work as hard to oxygenate. Also, the incubator, I keep it at 88 degrees, so they don't have to work on keeping themselves warm, right? I'm trying to take off as much stressors to that body as possible. Adam Phil's plasma treatment is for fading pups, Sykes pups. Okay. We got George Barron saying, how do you guys ensure that the whelping area remains as sterile as possible to minimize infection risks? What do you guys do?
I just take out the puppy pads that are over towels and just frequently changing the whole thing. And I clean it with a half white vinegar and half water solution. It's just kind of general cleanliness.
What I do, and it's just a little bit different. That pad right there that you're seeing underneath the pups, I don't normally use that pad. What I do have is 3 pools. So there's 1 pool there. I always have 2 pools in addition. And what I do is I'll go ahead and clean them exactly with what Donald said, a water and vinegar solution, and I let them air dry, right? I let the sun hit it, air dry it. I make sure it's wiped down nice and clean. And what we do is we'll swap them out every day. Boom, boom, boom. That's as clean as you're going to be able to keep that. And the reason I have the third one is if there's a major spill for whatever reason or whatever, I could just go ahead and swap another one. So for everyone that's in there, I got 2 that are clean, right? And they're easy to swap in and out. Excellent question. Girl dad, how long into whelping should mom or puppies be dewormed? I think Donald already spoke on this. Every 2 weeks with Pyrantel Pomiate. Shane Caress, what's the best flooring for whelping boxes? What's the best flooring?
Good question.
That was real good.
Real good question,
Yes.
Shane.
Should we give her a spin?
Oh yeah.
It's a him.
Oh, okay. My bad, Shane. My bad. I didn't mean none by that,
Come on,
man.
Shane, we're rooting for you.
Yeah, we're rooting for you, man. Here you go, Shane. Number love. Here's your free spin, bro. Here you go. Oh, there it is. Oh, dang it, man.
Dang.
All right, bud. All right. Excellent question nonetheless. Let's go ahead and answer it. What's the best flooring for the whelping box?
And I think anything that has grip on it underneath as your base, especially as the pups get more than a few days old, and a big-headed, heavy-chested dog should have some sort of a mattress like you could get at maybe Bed Bath or Beyond. Is some kind of a soft something that gives so that their chest is not compressed against a hard surface.
You don't get a flat chest dog.
Good point. Good point. The one thing we do here, and I'm going to bring that picture up again. Unfortunately, they're not even old enough to be able to do that. Literally at my dollar store, they sell these little rubber mats that are great for grip. And what I'll usually do is throw it in there. And the reason we do that is to prevent swimmers, right? Because Donald was alluding to that. If you have a real heavy pup, if you have a small litter, there's a tendency for those puppies to eat more than what they should. And then when it's time for them to get up and walk, they can't because they're on a slippery surface, right? This pool by itself, it's a slippery surface underneath that cloth you're seeing there. So the way we go around that, like I said, is we have a little plastic rug that you get over here at a little dollar store, and we'll throw it in there, and you'll see the pups once they're starting to move around or whatnot, they get to there and they could grip and they can start using the correct muscles and all that. So that's my best answer, and that's pretty much how we do it. Definitely that was a good question. Let's see here. Man. Drippy Smooth, real quick. Kyle, give him some love, man. Drippy Smooth dropped not one.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
He dropped 2 memberships.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
Number love for you, Drippy Smooth. Stay what's up to my girl for me, man. Number love, man. Dallas, Texas in the house. All right? Not the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas,
Yeah, Cowboys, man.
What about them Cowboys?
He can't live in Dallas and don't like the Cowboys.
Here we go. Infamous. What temperature should the room be when whelping a litter? Well, look, I'm going to make it easy. I've always said keep the temperature on the pups between 85 and 88 degrees. You don't want to go beyond 88 because you'll get them. You don't want to go underneath 85 because it may be too cold for them. They cannot regulate their temperature until day 28, right? So get yourself one of the little $5 remote control, not remote, but you know what I mean, wireless thermometers. Throw it in there. This way you can, have control of the temperature that's going on in there. What I have found, if your house is really cold, bring the lamp down, right? Or incorporate a second lamp, and you should be able to regulate within 85 and 88 degrees. What do you guys do for temperature?
That sounds about right. I think the little aquarium thermometers work real good that you can get at the pet store. Pretty durable.
Sure.
But I would always leave half of my whelping box a little cooler than the hot side. And that way they could kind of use their senses to move away from the heat if they needed to.
It helps them crawl, you know what I mean, and that survival mode that you were talking about, something like kind of like stress test, but like they'll sit sometime right in the middle between the heat. You know what I mean? Now you got one that's gonna lay in the cold and what you call it?
There's
Yeah.
always one that has his GPS
Right.
broken. I
It's
always
GPS
that
broke.
one that you
Yep.
got to go get and bring
Bring
over
them back
to mom.
in. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. I totally agree with you on that. We got Shane Caress saying, if the first litter was born naturally young, a back-to-back breeding, should I allow natural labor again? I would recommend yes. What do you guys recommend? I mean, doing a C-section at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
I
The only time I consider a C-section is if the male is notoriously bigger than the female. And when I take her in on day 57 for an x-ray, the vet's telling me the heads are not going to make it through the canal. Then definitely we're doing a C-section, right? I'm just saying, if she already gave birth the first time and everything was fine, it's up to you which way to go with it. I wouldn't necessarily do it. Shaytree, Amen Raul, preach about garlic and how amazing and wonderful it is. Yes, thank you so much, Teach. You got it. None but love. Appreciate you. George Barron, asking again because you might have missed it. How do you guys ensure that the whelping area remains as sterile? We answered that. We answered that as sterile as possible to minimize infection. I think we answered that. My bad. Yeah. You probably wrote that, and it took me a while to get to it. So my apologies. Let's see. We got DCG Bullies in his eye, man. Thank you,
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón. Every Monday at 8 p.m. CST, man. Let me tell you, amongst us, hold on, I'm on a roll. Amongst us, you're looking at how many years you've been breeding, Donald?
Man, I've had different kinds of dogs. Bullies for about 5 years.
No, give me in general.
Oh man, my sister and I raised him when I was, I think, a third grader. We raised poodles. We bought our first.
And he just turned 25, so that's about 20 years.
It's about 17 years.
You're looking at about 30 years worth of breeder experience. What do you got, Kyle?
He upgraded to a mentorship, is what I was wanting to tell you.
Number love, man. That's just as good as joining us for the first time, man. Number love, man. Appreciate you. And just know when you go ahead and upgrade to a mentorship, you get a free consult once every month. If you go to Mentorship Gold, you're going to get 2 free consults a month. I usually say 30 minutes. There's been times we've gone over an hour, whatever it takes for us to be able to make it work. What you got?
What's a priority membership versus the mentorship? Because Kahiki just did that.
I'll talk to Tahiki. I'll screen on that. That's no issue. I'll hit him up on that. Priority is just for me to answer questions before I answer regular member questions. That's all that is. The Alcevez, are Zesty Paw a good thing to use on puppies? I have Nuvet Plus and New Joint, but use Z fish oil and probiotics. Well, fish oil, first of all, is very good, and you should be adding this. And you say you're adding probiotics, that's good too. Zesty Paw per se, I don't know if it's a brand or what. I couldn't tell you if it's good or not, but what you're saying sounds good. Fish oil and probiotics. Let's see, man. Love seeing people coming up in here. Kahiki Sakata just became a priority member. Go ahead and drop.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
Claro que sí, cabrón. Kahiki, all the way from Shaka, Hawaii. Man, talking about Hawaii, Kahiki, we may be traveling over there come December. And if I do, I don't care what island you're in, I'm going to go find you and say, what's up, man? Straight up, man, for all the support you've been giving us. Let's see. We got Malachi going into a bit of a temperament topic. How do I tell confidence versus fear in my pup? If he is barked at, he tends to prop up and just stare. Never barks back or moves away. Excellent question, man.
Yeah.
How do you tell confidence versus fear? I could tell you a pup that is fearful is not going to stand up and stare. Fearful puts tail between the leg. Usually he's going to run away from whatever stressor is coming at him. It sounds to me like you may have a dog that's more of an alpha. Now, I don't know this just on the question you're asking. One thing you can do, which is what I do, is grab yourself a pot, right? That's going to make a lot of noise once it hits the ground. Let the puppy play near it, right? And when he's least expecting it, go ahead and drop it and let it make that banging sound. One of three things is going to happen. Either the pup's going to run away into a little corner and shiver and be scared, which it's fear, obviously, or it's going to run right at it and try to attack it, which at that point, that's not good. Or it's going to do what usually most pups will do, which is first they're going to crouch down a little bit, look in an area, and then slowly gain the confidence to stand up and look in that direction. If it does that, that's a confident pup. What do you guys got on that?
Man, that was very well explained.
That was explained. I seen so the three reactions the same, but we have had puppies. I don't know. I guess it's off the Betty stuff. But where you drop the sound, because he, like I said, he do go through a stress test with him, but
yeah,
a barking sound or anything, I don't know if they're crazy or confident, where they're just charged wherever that come from. We had a couple puppies that do that, but then once the other puppies see that happen, they go behind them to back them up, man. I don't know. Yeah. I think they're pretty crazy, but then you have them that'll turn around and run and perk up and look, you know what I mean? And look and just stay there staring. We hadn't had none just really just cowered down like that.
Yeah.
I don't think we had any that just I mean, they don't get me wrong, they a lot more docile than the other ones.
Right.
They'll come under you and then they gonna act like a badass. Like,
right. And that's normal.
Go check that out.
That's my daddy. Yeah. My daddy.
Yeah, that's normal. But when we're saying a cowering dog, like cowering pup,
right?
There ain't no come here, little buddy. I'm gonna give you some love. No, he is so afraid of that. He's gonna cower in the face of you. All right, that's what I'm talking about. By the way, Kyle, you didn't give me some love, man.
Master.
I'm giving it to myself for the explanation and none but love, man. I know he got 100 things in the bag. I'm just pulling his chain. DCG says, how often should I feed my dog garlic? At what age can I start feeding my pups garlic? Bro, I start feeding my puppies garlic when they go on mush. But check it out, man. Real quick, garlic you must either crush or slice up, and you got to let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, preferably 15. And that's so something in there that's called allicin can actually react with oxygen and becomes allicin, which is safe for your pup. Now, the way I feed garlic to my pups, for every 1 clove, I consider in my head a 100-pound dog. So if I have a 50-pound dog, I'm going to slice that in half. If I have a 25-pound dog, I'm going to slice it in a quarter. If I have a 5-pound puppy, you could just imagine how tiny of a slice I'm going to give that pup, right? That's how I would do it. We give it to our dogs daily. So we don't have a flea problem. We don't have a tick problem. We don't have amoeba issues. We don't have a lot of these issues. And you got to realize where I live. I live in Southeast Texas, bro. We live in a swamp. This is a swamp. And so our dogs, or dogs in this area, are known to pick up a lot of these things, along with roundworms and pinworms and all these things because of the swamp-like area. But something like garlic is such an effective tool in a breeder's arsenal. I can never see myself working without it. Do you guys feed your puppies garlic? Raw garlic? No. You don't? Okay. Why not? You're afraid?
And I've seen it on your channel, and it looks really good. And I think when you see our gray hair, when we get in the habit of doing something, we kind of we don't fix it, but that sounds educational. That sounds like we would sure give that a shot.
Yeah, I suggest you give it a shot, man. I could tell you this. The first time I ever used garlic on a pup, I actually had a puppy with full-blown coccidiosis, right? He had full-blown coccidia infection. He was going to die. The vet pretty much told me he was going to die. The poop had this pink tinge to it, which nothing more than blood, and it was mucousy when it came out. Pup didn't want to eat. So at this point, I said, what the heck? I had nothing to lose. And I don't suggest you try this at home, but I got to tell you what I did. I gave the pup a full garlic clove, not in one time. I gave it to him over, I want to say maybe a 2-hour period. And what I did is I put it in a blender with some water, and then I mixed it into wet dog food, mushed it all up together, put that into a syringe, and then I would go in there and squeeze it into his mouth, make sure it's swallowed. In fact, there was times I had to put an NG tube, which is a nasogastric tube that made it all the way to the stomach, and push the food in because he would eat and then throw it up or not want to eat it altogether. Long story short, the next day, there was no mucus in the poop. Now, in the night, he was pooping out mucus. Next day, by like noon, it was completely fixed. And ever since then, hey, man, I just believed in the stuff. Don't get me wrong. We also gave him medication that the vet had given me. But I felt that the garlic potentiated everything, took everything to another level. Real quick, guys, we only got a couple of minutes before we shut down. I'm going to put the question up. Just give me your first reaction. Brian Cooper says, what probiotics do you use?
I use sauerkraut and damn what was that, cottage cheese?
Yeah, man, that's a blue and white. Man, I can't think of the brand, but it's bought in powder form.
Okay.
The probiotic, that probiotic.
I'm with them. Sauerkraut, sour cream, kefir, cheese, blue cheese, you name it.
As a whelping method, we're using yogurt and cottage cheese.
Yes. And Freddie Estrevi, hey, she's just letting us know we're in overtime tonight, Cabron. And that's true. We are. Shade Tree says apple cider vinegar mother is a pre and probiotic. There you go.
Very
so
good.
when you buy the apple cider vinegar, it's got to have the mother at the very bottom. Yep. All right. I only say it because there's some HEB brands here in Texas that don't have the mother in there whatsoever. All right. Fermented sauerkraut is effing amazing. She's absolutely right. I've actually opened up the sauerkraut, mixed it with sour cream, let it sit for a day, and kaboom. Pretty good stuff, man. Pretty good stuff. Let's see. I'm jumping around here. Shade Tree, I love QBN Puppies. Thank you for making them. They're magnificent. Appreciate you. Number love. Gyra Grimm says, yes, garlic really works. You got it. DCG, Slidell, Louisiana. All right. We're on fire tonight. Turn it up, says Drippy Smooth. Drippy, I told you, man. By the way, the suggestion of spinning the wheel has been Drippy Smooth. He's the one that told me, dude, you got to be spinning the wheel. And Drippy, I hope we've been able to live up to what you want. And Kahiki says, my Frenchies love garlic. They'll eat it like it's candy. Don't need to hide with bread and whatnot. Excellent. Do you add DE to your mush, diatomaceous earth? I can, and I have in the past, along with vinegar, along with garlic. So those are the pure forms of deworming that I use: diatomaceous earth, raw garlic, and apple cider vinegar. Shade Tree, garlic's life. Wait 15 minutes before you eat it after you crush or slice it. You got it. Guys, I'm trying to speed through because we got a lot of questions, man. A lot of questions. I love kefir and colostrum. Good stuff. Reyes, we'll definitely rewatch this episode again. So much knowledge from you guys. I'm telling you, man, even if you watch this live, I guarantee it. If you watch us again when you're going to work and coming from work, you're going to be that much better. I guarantee it. Let's see. Drippy said, great show. Y'all keep coming tonight. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, we're going to stop it right here. We're going to bring in Mr. Hollywood, and we're going to do things a little different. We're going to give a free spin, right, to an unsuspecting contributor tonight. So first we're going to give a spin. If it's a win, I'm going to pick, or we're all going to pick the best question. So here we go. Is it a win? Is it a win, first of all? Oh, stop. All right. So nah. We're not going to leave on this sour note. It's going to be a bottle of Nuvet, 90-day supply. And let's go ahead and find ourselves not just a question. It could also be a comment. So I'm going to put a comment up here. You guys give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. We'll definitely rewatch this episode again. So much knowledge from you guys. Reyes Kennel. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. All right. Reyes, get in contact with this crazy dude right here next to me over here, Kyle. And Kyle, go ahead and drop your phone number at the bottom so he can text you directly. Or you could download QBN app and go to
Reyes should have my info already. He's contacted me before about banners.
That's it. So Reyes, do me a favor, contact my dude over here. We'll get a bottle sent out to you. Guys, it's been an excellent live, man. We forgot about the whole 1 hour rule, and we just threw all that crap out the window, and we just took care of our peeps.
I'm just in the back cussing. What are you doing?
Yeah, so ugly, muggly. Real quick. Somebody was asking about swimmers. Just real quick, let me show you how to fix a swimmer. And guys, those are nothing more than them sticky medical bandages that you're able to put on the pup so they don't slip out. Also, these gentlemen down here told us last week that what they use is gutters. And so when the puppy's in there, either one could actually work for you. Use whatever's more convenient. Kyle, I'm going to start.
What about little popsicle sticks? You tie them to their legs.
You're on your own on that one, bro. I'm never.
Hey, I was trying to back them up, man. But
you ain't getting backed up on that one, bro.
Yeah,
hey, Kyle, start it up, man.
It's your boy Hollywood, your boy in the back at the queue, and we're catching you on the next one.
Gaines Bullies.
Hey, can you get a little wheelchair for him? Little bully QBN emblem on the back.
Yeah, man. Mike Green,
Donald Gaines.
Hey. And we catch you on the next one.
Hey, guys, you already know we do this every Monday. All you got to do is become a member if you want to be interactive with us. Down in the descriptions below, we're going to leave a link. It's been Raw from the Q, catching you on the next one.